Welcome to China as we head into the Shanghai International Circuit. An intense circuit, this one, marrying both high-speed straights with technical corners. It makes a track that's both fun from a spectator's standpoint and very challenging from a driver's. A lot of focus is naturally on the drivers, but it's really important for the mechanics to get everything right as well, as one little mistake could cost the team and one of their drivers the race result.
These guys are so meticulous and they train and perfect everything that they do. Without question, they feel the pressure in the same way as the drivers, and they share the responsibility to ensure that the car makes it to the end of the race.
What's up YouTube land, Xeno Gaming back here with my F1 2019 career mode. Here today we have episode number 23 at the Chinese Grand Prix, and after scoring our first point of the season in Bahrain, we now move into China, hoping to once again score some more points. And we unfortunately though get some bad news for this Grand Prix, and that engine part that I was hoping that would be on the car has failed, and now that means not only can we not get this part for China, we can only get it for Baku, and that means the two further minor parts that I wanted to get in for Baku will no longer be able to get into Baku, because until that part is upgraded I can't actually upgrade the other two parts of the tree, which is really unfortunate. And I end up deciding with these, I realised these were two major ones, and if I wanted them for at least Spain I have to do that upgrade now, and that's what I decided to do. And so I'm working on that aero part now for Spain and Monaco, and then we'll try and get those two minor upgrades for the Canadian Grand Prix where the power is required, and that could even come in at Monaco if I have enough points, but we'll just see about that. Maybe one of them will come in for Monaco. And yeah, so I was just looking at this real quickly, just seeing if what Weber's best finish was after his brilliant result, and that was his career best third, and last year his best result was a 5th place at Germany. But anyway, that's the introduction. Now we'll move on to some action, and I'm actually going to go into practice 1 just to show a few clips from practice 1. And here we are doing my race strategy in practice 1, and as you see, this is such a tricky long corner, really just long and really yeah, frustrating. You want to get the power down, but you just have to keep going slow and slow. Anyway, here I make a mistake in the race strategy run, and sitting in the middle of the track, I knew Hamilton was coming. I tried to get out of the way. He unfortunately went straight into me, and just looking on board from Hamilton anyway, this is really another frustrating thing about it. You'd think he would slow down, go around me. He wouldn't. He doesn't brake at all. He just goes full speed right into me. I'm right in the middle of the track. There's not really much for it. No room for him to go either way, so he has to slow down. I was trying to get out of the way as soon as possible, but he unfortunately came a bit quicker than what I was expecting. And now we move on to practice 3, where I was doing some qualifying runs, and unfortunately I couldn't beat the lap times here. And for me, normally when I cannot beat the qualifying objectives in practice, that means I feel like I'm going to have a tough weekend. So hopefully that does not happen. And anyway, now we're going to move into some qualifying, and I didn't realise this was I picked this up in editing at the time. It really annoyed me, but I'll show you what I mean here. When I had a setup I was running for the Chinese Grand Prix all weekend, and I don't know if it's been like this for previous games or what, but anyway, I had this set up here. You'll quickly see what it is. I won't be stopping and showing, but I'm scrolling through. I'm just making sure I was happy with it, because this is a bit different to my Season 1 setup. I decided I wanted to save that one. But then, as I backed out of this, I don't know, for whatever reason, instead of just going circle again, I have scrolled through the menu. You'll see in a second. Don't know what's taking me so long. I scroll through the menu. You'll see in a second here, and you see, just switching tyres. I scroll through the menu here for whatever reason, and I changed my setup to the maximum downforce. I just assumed once I left that first screen that would be my setup, but I guess that's not the case with how the game. You have to just leave. You have to leave that little thing. Anyway, so I didn't realise this at the time, but my setup is now a maximum downforce setup, which is really frustrating. And yeah, that's going to really cost me, especially down this part of the track. You can see we're only maxing out 320 k's. I didn't even realise it in qualifying, and I was wondering when I was doing these laps why I was so slow in sector 3. I was losing like half a second to my teammate, and I was like, really, I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, here's the first lap. We run out a bit of ERS here on my first lap in qualifying, and it just puts us just ahead of Albon this first lap. And now our second lap in Q2, but if you notice on our first lap, I made a bit of a mistake coming out of turn 13 here, and this time I got a much smoother run, was able to get my power, and you can see all the time I'm gaining all the way down the straight, which is really helpful for the lap time. And now braking very effectively into the hairpin, got it stopped this time around. But you got to see we are currently 19th, and although we are improving our lap, we come here through the last corner, really nice corner. That one is nice to drive. Anyway, come across the line and P20. So unfortunately we don't improve enough to get out of Q1, which is, or even get off the last position in the grid, which is really frustrating, but it is what it is at this point in time. We'll just have to deal with it in the race. A 32.4. You can see our teammate at 1 minute 31.7. I was analysing the times when it happened just to see where I went wrong. But yeah, let's get into the race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Weber, Pierre Gasly, and Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Hülkenberg, and Kevin Magnussen, Stroll, Raikkonen, Lando Norris, and Ricciardo, Butler, Giovinazzi, Daniel Kvyat, and Roman Grosjean, Albon, and the captain. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Welcome here, guys, to the Chinese Grand Prix. Here today we have a one-stop strategy going from the medium to the hard tyre. The soft tyre is really rubbish around this track. It only lasts for 4 or 5 laps, and it's really just a qualifying tyre, to be honest. So, and that's always kind of been the case here in China. The qualifying tyre has really been rubbish for as a race tyre. And so, yeah, one stop is always going to be the ideal strategy around here. So yeah, anyway, as we now gear up for the start of the formation lap, and as I was talking to you guys before about the setup.
Okay, how was the pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
Yeah, as I was talking about at the start, I was talking about the setup and stuff, and right here I realised that my setup looked like it was at default. It wasn't at default, obviously it was at the maximum downforce, which is the brake bias, the diff and all that, and it really got me confused as to why that was. I figured it out while I was editing this video, but yeah, that's just another thing to annoy me for this race. But now moving on now to the start of this Grand Prix. As we get the 5 red lights, it's lights out and away we go here for the Chinese Grand Prix. Tough start here from the back, didn't get a great one, and the pack pull away from us as we stream into turn 1. Grosjean and Kvyat up the inside here. We're just going to have to pick a gap, and we find it. We go down the inside of Albon. Got to be very careful here not to run into the back of Grosjean or Kvyat, as we're now trying to go around the outside, but that's never going to work. Just going to run out of road eventually, and here get the power down, and that's 19th place. We're still side by side with Albon with our 10 downforce, struggling in the straight line. Here a bit slower there into the corner, and I misjudge it here, and we go into Antonio Giovinazzi, which is a bit unfortunate. Break the front wing at such an early stage in the Grand Prix. Misjudged it. Giovinazzi's how far his car was in front of mine, I guess, and yeah, these things just happen, I guess. And at this point in time, the car actually didn't feel too bad, but I definitely notice it as we come through turn 13 in a second, the damage. But you're going to lose half a second a lap. So knowing that I'm going on the hard tyre and it's supposed to go on at like lap 13, 14, whenever it is, I notice it, straight away. So I was like, yep, I'll come into the pits, I'll chuck on the hard tyre, and I'll just see how far it goes. Maybe chuck on a set of softs at the end of the race. Hopefully there's a safety car, change tyres mid-race. You can see the two runners did me down the straight, and that was a bit, you can just see the 10 downforce, how effective it is. And here coming to the pit lane, normally you go flat out into the pit lane, almost ran into the back of Albon. So that was another moment, hairy moment in this Grand Prix on the first lap. But yeah, I changed the front wing level down from 10 to 3, because you could just see the Renault stream past me down the straight. So that's how much 10 downforce really does hurt you on the straight with all that drag, to compare to the AI. I'm not sure what the AI would be running, but I know it's not 10, it's going to be like 4 or 5. I'm not exactly too sure what the AI run, but either way, change the front wing, get a set of hard tyres on, and now we've got a lot of work to do. So it's now lap 13 in this Grand Prix, and now started lap 14. Albon's finally made his first pit stop, and we managed to get ahead of him despite the front wing. Well, we had the front wing change. We know the Renaults are slow, but with the front wing change, the bad hard tyres, and he was squabbling with his teammate Grosjean. We come out ahead, so we get that job done. You can see he's only a couple of seconds behind us, so we do manage to pull away a little bit from him, and Grosjean also is now behind us. So yeah, I believe we are quicker on the Renaults, even though we have done 15 laps on these tyres already, and they're on the hard tyres and doing the not as good lap times as we are. So you can see that the hard tyres, they're just not as good a tyre. You can see they're all doing well. I was closing them in at the end of their medium stint, but when I first got on the hard tyre, I couldn't close into them. But now moving on to lap 21.
Some information on Hulkenberg. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
So Hulkenberg has an issue, and at this rate, I've pulled away from the two Renaults. I'm not closing enough to Ricciardo or the guys ahead to make up that gap. But because Hulkenberg's got an issue with his car, it gave me like that mentality. You can see my tyres are pretty gone as well. But I decided not to pit again. We're going to the end of the race on the hard tyre, and yeah, we are now on lap 24. We've caught up to the back of Hulkenberg. He's got issues, and it kind of I got my eye in, not my eye in, I'm trying to think of the word. Got my kind of got the competitive spirit going again, I guess, to try and reel in Nico Hulkenberg. But here he is, we passed him, but now he's got the slipstream on us, a real good one. And because of the extra speed from the DRS, I went a bit deep into the corner, and Hulkenberg, he's coming into the side of us, so there's plenty of room on the inside. He still hit us, and you can see that that's damaged the front wing. Don't know how it's damaged that side of the front wing when he hit us on the other side, but so once again, front wing damage in this Grand Prix, but we're just going to have to deal with it from here on out. And once again, Hulkenberg in our slipstream. Now he's actually got DRS down to the turn 1, but we managed to hold on. Now moving to lap 26, we pulled away from Hulkenberg. The issues weren't, even with the front wing, the issues for his car were so significant that they're able to pull away here. But this front wing damage wasn't as bad as the one earlier in the race. Either that or the hard tyres were just that bad. It didn't really make a difference. So yeah, we're actually now closing up to the back of Lando Norris here. I'm not sure why he was going so slow. No reported issues from him, from the engineer, but he was going slow either way. And now you can see the understeer here going through turn 13 is absolutely horrendous with these tyres. A little bit of loss in the area on the front, but now we are within Lando's DRS range here, and we're not going to be able to be close enough to make a move into the hairpin, but can we set something up for the next lap? That's all what this is about. We close right up to his rear on the hairpin on the braking, which is good to see, and now we're right within a chance to get past on the main straight. As now we come through, I'm going to turn up the engine modes. Can we get Norris into turn 1? We're going to have the DRS now right in his slipstream, and we're going to close right up. He's not even going to defend, we're going to go to the inside, on the inside of Lando Norris into turn 1. Good move for 15th place. So all that just for 15th place, but that's what it is today. Unfortunately, it's only going to be a short video due just to the circumstance of having to go into the hard tyre from lap 1, not really racing anybody. But we do come through to finish in 15th place, which is a bit unfortunate.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in park for the night.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Ferrari are at it again, an excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I mean, can it be anyone else other than Danny Kvyat? His performance today really set him apart from the other drivers out there. He's got to be happy with how he's done here this weekend.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So guys, that was the Chinese Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't really much to enjoy, to be honest. It was just, sorry for the short episode, really unfortunate what happened. But Sebastian Vettel did win the Grand Prix from Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Pierre Gasly finishing 4th, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez best of the rest in 7th, Raikkonen 8th, 9th for Weber, and 10th for Devon Butler. So our two former teammates scoring points, and also our rival. For us, 15th and 14th for the two Toro Rosso guys, so a bit unfortunate. Now moving to the driver standings, Lewis Hamilton still leads the standings by 6 points over Leclerc, with Vettel 9 points behind and Gasly 10 points behind. Bottas and Verstappen need to do some catch up at this stage for the driver's standings. And so yeah, that was not the best race for me. Made a mistake at turn 4, and that was really all she wrote. And yeah, now we're moving on to post race, and I made further additions to the R&D. I decided to I had to fix the engine, and I also got 2 front wing major components to hopefully help for Spain and Monaco, thinking in the future. And then yeah, I also will consolidate this or fix this failed cylinder head, so that's should be all good for the next race in Monaco, in Baku, sorry. With that long straight, we're definitely going to need all the extra power that we can get, and hopefully, even though you can see where Perez, he finished 7th with that Williams car, hopefully with our little upgrade we can be fighting with him in the top 10. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode for the Chinese Grand Prix. Please leave a like, subscribe, leave any feedback you guys have in the comment section down below. Would really help me out to improve these videos. And yeah, until then, I'll see you guys for the next video at Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Goodbye.